All right, what's going on, everybody? I am back here with let's see what happens, rant. Over positive Eagles fans is the topic of discussion when it comes to the ranting hour with me. You guys picked this one. It edged out Cowboys fans, which is shocking to me because everyone hates the Dallas Cowboys in the Eagles fan base. I am shocked that you guys would want me to rant on my own fan base other than rant on the Dallas Cowboys, which literally everyone hates. So this will be an interesting one. Strap up, buckle in, do whatever you got to do, and get some popcorn, because it's going to be over positive Eagles fans. Where do I even start with this one? All right, so the Eagles won in 2017 with Nick Foles after Carson Wentz went down with an ACL injury, which everyone said was heroic because he threw the ball to the ground, which Alshon Jeffrey scooped up, and we went ahead against the Los Angeles Rams at the time and, secured home field advantage. Carson Wentz helped out a ton with that year. Let's not forget Carson Wentz helped wrap up that number one seed. Let's not forget that now, all right? Everyone thinks that I'm such a hater of Carson Wentz that I don't show my true appreciation for the guy that helps reach our goals by giving us home field advantage in the 2017 NFC playoffs. So, yes, he was a huge part of the Philadelphia Eagles' success, all right? Now, the problem I have with the Philadelphia Eagles fans is that he won the game. Now, my friend Zomp, shout out to my friend Zomp. I know he's going to hop in here anytime. He said once Wentz went down, the season was over. There was no way we were going to win the Super Bowl, and it was pretty much kaput. It was done because he hated Nick Foles. All of a sudden, Nick Foles goes on and wins the Super Bowl, and he's like, it's like finishing up a painted house that wasn't finished. The guy got you there, and Nick Foles finished it. All right, so you said the season was over, but then you're trying to make these excuses we wouldn't have got there without Carson Wentz. Listen, it's true. It's very true. We wouldn't have got there without Carson Wentz because I don't think Nick Foles could have got us through the NFC playoffs as a 6th seed. But then again, I really don't know how good our team was that year to make a judgment on that. Because let's face it, Carson Wentz was basically a lightning in a bottle. And the last 2 to 3 years, the last 3 years, well, actually 2 years after he got injured, proved to me that maybe he's a shell of himself and people are overconfident in the guy to the point where they overlook the team and look at Carson Wentz because they want him to do so well. Any real Eagles fan like myself points out the flaws over trying to have the quarterback succeed to a level that we may not ever see again. The flaws on this team are ridiculous. And what do I mean by ridiculous? I mean that we have literally no starting linebacker going into the NFL season next year. Literally none. I know this team doesn't value the linebacking core. I understand that. They never have and they never will. But we have none. Literally, we have Camus and we have Nate Gary starting next year right now. You guys don't think that's scary? That's a little scary, all right? I know you try to rely so much on the defensive line pressure, getting up front, trying to take off the quarterback's head. I understand that, which wouldn't shock me at all if Howie Roseman took a defensive lineman at, 21 this year. It wouldn't shock me at all. We need a wide receiver badly, but Howie Roseman's not – I don't think he's going to pick a wide receiver. I really don't because I stopped I'm not going to say I stopped caring, but in the grand scheme of things, he's still the manager and he's still a dumb fuck. No, there's no reason why you should trust Howie Roseman to make a pick in the draft because he got demoted. Let's not pretend to forget that Chip Kelly was the GM of this team because Howie Roseman couldn't get the job done and Chip wanted to leave, and you gave the reins of GM to Chip Kelly, a college head coach, which never had any experience in the field, never got a degree of any sort to be a GM in the National Football League, and you gave it to him over Howie Roseman. What does that say about Howie Roseman? Howie Roseman's a fraud. He's a failure, and everyone wants to say that it was because of Howie why he won the Super Bowl. No, it's not. And now you have these fans coming out of nowhere saying, oh, we're going to win every game now. We're going to win Super Bowls. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. With 9-7 records. 9-7 records the last 2 years. 9-7. Okay? These fans are so out of reality. When I was growing up, when I was in high school, when I was in middle school, whenever the Eagles lost in the playoffs, my heart would get ripped out of my fucking chest, all right? I had so high expectations for this team. I really did. I lived and died by this team. If my week in school wasn't going well, I'd always see the Eagles on Sunday, and I'd get ready for the game. All right. Like the Eagles were life. The Eagles are still life, but the Eagles even back then were even more life. Like it was Eagles or die. Like when we lost to Arizona in the fashion that we did, I was killed inside. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I was going to a family party after that game. I didn't even want to go to that game. It was snowing. It was miserable. I did not even want to go. Then Nick Foles wins the Super Bowl in 2000. What is it? Technically 2018, but it was the 2017 season. And people want to ask me why I love Nick Foles over Carson Wentz. Like, are you fucking joking? I'm a diehard Eagles fan. Of course, I'm going to like the Super Bowl. That brought us the Super Bowl over any other QB in the existence of the Eagles franchise. That's like asking me, what do I like more, pasta or fucking curry? Like, of course, I'm going to like pasta more. Who doesn't like pasta over curry? Like weird human beings, maybe. Maybe it's a bad analogy. I don't know. But me being an Eagles fan, I understand. Look, Eagles 01 in the comment section is like 9-7 isn't good enough. 9-7 isn't good enough. And the fact of the matter that our division sucked so much ass last year, and we got into the playoffs to face the Seattle Seahawks, goes to show you that these fans, maybe the Super Bowl was enough for them. Maybe they just moved on from it, and now they're just enjoying life. Who knows? But I'm trying to take out the garbage. Okay, so we got the first $5 super chat of the night. You guys know the drill. If you give a $5 super chat in any one of these shows, I rant. I give you the best rant I could possibly give in your comment. All right, so let's read this comment. McNabb, 4 NFC championships, appearances with Thrash, Pinkston, etc. equals trash. Wentz, no playoff wins at all equals not his fault. Our fan base is a joke. Thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. Technically $5 super chat. I'll round it up. It's a good super chat. Thank you guys. Thank you so much, James S, for donating the $5 super chat, and that is a perfect comment. All right, because McNabb was the backbone of this team for, let's say, a good 10 years, and a lot of people blamed it on the QB. They didn't necessarily even blame it on Andy Reid until McNabb left and Vic was at home. They blamed it on Donovan McNabb because he couldn't get the job done. He was there for 4 straight NFC Championship games, finally got us over the hill. We got to the Super Bowl 39 facing the New England Patriots, and people wanted to blame him when we lost. They said he threw up in the huddle, which isn't a fact. No one could ever prove that. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Who honestly knows? Who cares? Fact of the matter is, McNabb was such a damn quarterback that he made these wide receivers look half decent. And these wide receivers were terrible. He had Todd Pinkston against the Washington Redskins turn his back to a ball. The Washington Redskins. He turned his back to the ball because he was scared to catch the ball. Right? These were the kind of guys he had to put up with. T.O. was out for a good 8 weeks during that championship run. And he finally gets T.O. back on one foot. T.O. balled out, but let's face it, we weren't going to win against the Patriots because, number one, they cheated, and number two, the Patriots are a more talented team than us back then. They really were. I'm not even going to deny that anymore, but it's a joke. It's an absolute joke how people like to glamour Carson Wentz over Donovan McNabb when Carson Wentz hasn't done jack shit. Carson Wentz had one good year in 2017. All right. He was letting it in the bottle. He was blowing teams out. The defense was magnificent. Everyone gelled. It was a band of brothers. Everyone was playing together as one. And people want to say that Carson Wentz is this golden boy. And to me, he's not. Because when you only win 9 games out of the year, and when you play teams like the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots, and you can't move the ball against them, but the shit teams you can, and you look like gold, I'm sorry. I'm not going to go there and suck your ass and be like, you're the best thing since sliced bread. He had 4,000 receiving yards. No, he had 4,000 passing yards this year with Greg Ward and some other trash dumpster wide receivers. Good job. You found the wide open receiver. Yay. Good job. And you know what? I'm not glamorizing Carson Wentz. I'm not. I'm sorry. And that's a great super chat. All right. I'm not glamorizing this guy. I'm not. I got to see more from him. 2017 seems like ages away. I'm no longer doing that. McNabb, to me, is still the best QB in Eagles franchise history. He was the most consistent. Sure, he got hit. He got hurt. He did get hurt, but he's still the most consistent. He put us in a winning position all the time. Didn't get us over the hill, but neither did Andy Reid. Neither did Andy Reid. All right, and people are forgetting about that. But to me, McNabb was a good enough quarterback to get it done. We just didn't give him the pieces. You could blame that on the management. Thank you so much for the super chat, James S. I hope that satisfied your needs, and I agree with you 100%. It's complete. It's disgusting how the fan base reacts to Carson Wentz over Donovan McNabb. Is it a race issue? I don't know. I don't really get into that. It's just disgusting to me. Once again, thank you for the $5 super chat. We're almost 10 minutes in already to this rant. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and thank you for tuning in. We need to get to the bottom of this, and we need to get to the bottom of this now. You guys chose this over Cowboys fans. You guys chose friendly fire over me dismantling the Cowboys fan base. And maybe I'll do that the next time. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know. But, and that's a good question, PR. It's finally a good question from you. Weren't you once an over-positive Eagles fan? I was a blind fan. And you know what happened, PR? I grew up. All right? I was a kid. That, we weren't in the best position at all. We were like an 8-8 team at best. And I always thought we could go on a run and win. You want to know why? Number one, we never won a Super Bowl. Number two, I was young. I wanted that moment of happiness. And number three, I just overlooked everything because I was a kid. I was young. I was stupid. And I was just ignorant. I didn't know. Honestly, it was just blind support. I'm not a blind supportist anymore. I just don't do that. I'm going to be 28 this year. I'm a realist. I'm trying to tell you guys what makes this team better and what makes it worse. Now, I'm not talking about Wentz anymore because obviously he's our quarterback of the future. What we put around him is up to us, but I'm not the GM, so I can't really go into depth about that. All I know is we need to put some true talent around that guy. We do, and we'll see what happens. But to answer your question, PR, yes, I was a once over positive Eagles fan, but for all the kid reasons, all right? It just seems like a ton of kids are coming on my channel like I did a long time ago, and they're like, why aren't you positive about this team? Why don't you think they could win? Number one, we lost to the Miami Dolphins last year, right? Once we lost to the Miami Dolphins, I was like, the season was pretty much over. I personally, if you're going to ask me honestly, I thought the season was over after week 3, all right, when we lost to the Detroit Lions. When we lost to the Lions, I was like, this team has too many holes. We're not going to win anything this year. You might as well just pack it up and tank. I told my friend that, and then we beat Green Bay. We beat Green Bay when Devontae Adams came out of the game. I mean, mind you, Devontae Adams came out of the game in the second quarter, who was trashing us. And then we beat Green Bay, and my friend was like, haha, what now? We're still on the road to success. And then all of a sudden we go 9-7. Carson Wentz goes out of the game. We lose to the Seattle Seahawks, and that's all she wrote. It's actually probably better that we lost to the Seattle Seahawks because we wouldn't have done much against San Fran or even if we got to the Super Bowl, we wouldn't have done much against Kansas City at all. So, yeah, PR, good question. Is Alshon Jeffrey staying in Philly? No, he's not. I think we're going to upgrade and we're going to get younger at that position. His time's pretty much up. He's getting older, and he just can't stay healthy. And him and Wentz don't see eye to eye, so you kind of have to get rid of him now. But he did a good job. Can't ignore the defense on those McNabb-led teams. Yes, the defense was dynamic on those teams. Absolutely fucking filthy on those teams. And people, it was like the team that won the Super Bowl in 2017. I don't think you could compare them to the 2014. The 2014 was stacked on the defensive end, literally stacked. The only problem is we had shit for wide receivers. So it sucks. It sucks, but we contained Michael Vick before his prime, and it just sucks. It just sucks. I hate thinking about that. I'm not sure if I feel positive or negative about the Eagles' future. I'm kind of indifferent. To me, the Eagles are heading into a very unknown. I feel like they're heading into a horrible direction. I feel like this team could potentially become the Oakland Raiders of the last 14 years if they fuck up any moves in this NFL draft. Because the reason why the title of this is Over Positive Eagles Fans is they're just going over the fact that we don't have a great team. They're just looking at the quarterback and seeing what he did in 2017, and they're going based off that. They're not looking at the holes we have on the linebacker position. They're not looking at the holes we have on the quarterback position. They're not looking at the holes we have on now the wide receiver position because Alshon Jeffrey's leaving, and Deshaun Jackson's going to be 33 this year, and you're going to use him as your number one. Like, you have to value these things. You need to take a step back and say to yourself, is this team good enough to try to make a run at the Super Bowl? And right now they're not. They're not. Even if they were healthy from top to bottom next year, right now this would be a 10-6 team next year. They have to really nail this draft, and they have to nail free agency. Because if they do neither, this team could potentially be a 5-11, 6-10 team. And that's being nice. And I'm being completely honest with you. I hate it. I hate the way the direction of this team's going because it's like they played for that one Super Bowl and then they just stopped. And that is a diehard Eagles fan. It just makes me just die inside. It just completely makes me die inside because I don't like the way the direction of this team's going. Cowboy Corona says, when you do decide to rant on our fan base, please destroy us. I hate most of our fans. Well, you were close tonight, Cowboy fan. You were close tonight, but you dodged it. If you're the GM, who's your guy at 21? I'm trading up and I'm getting CeeDee Lamb. I am putting my marbles in for CeeDee Lamb from Oklahoma, the wide receiver. That guy's a complete package, and I feel like he'd do great things with Carson Wentz. I really do. But I don't see us trading up for a wide receiver. I don't even see us picking a wide receiver at 21. I see us drafting a defensive lineman. I really do, because Howie Roseman's the worst GM in all of sports, and people seem to to love this guy for whatever reason. I don't get it. He wasn't the reason why we won the Super Bowl. I hate to break it to you. Miles Sanders is the future GOAT. See, the thing with Miles Sanders is, and I'm going to get a little bit into this, the thing with Miles Sanders is he's missing something. Like just a little bit. Like he racks up the yards, like offensive purpose yards. He racks up the wide receiver yards. He racks up the receiving yards. He racks up the run out of the backfield yards. I understand all that, but at the same time, something's just missing from Miles Sanders' game that I can't just put two and two together. I don't understand it. Like Miles Sanders, to me, he just lacks that burst of speed, if you know what I'm talking about. Like there's just something missing from his game. Everything else is great. There's just something missing from his game. Joey Shakes, yo, what's up, buddy? Another Eagles YouTuber, YouTube video maker. What is your take on Amari Cooper? I don't want this to happen. I have a feeling the Eagles will go after Amari Cooper. See, the thing about this is, and I know you don't want this, but Amari Cooper is a damn good wide receiver. If we have an opportunity to get him and someone else, I would go after Amari Cooper. I know he does drop a lot of passes, and that's something we could probably fix up, or maybe not, who knows. But Amari Cooper, if you put him in an offense and Wentz looks anything like he did in 2017, maybe, just maybe, that would be one of the best 1-2 tandems in the whole league. Don't quote me on that, but if we get Amari Cooper, I'd actually like that. I really would. But we'd have to go in the draft. We'd have to get CeeDee Lamb, and we'd have to make that shit our bitch. We really would. Do you think the Eagles will win another Super Bowl in your lifetime? No, I don't think so. Because I think the way that we won the Super Bowl was in such Philadelphia fashion. You know, you win the Super Bowl, you're all happy, but then half the fan base is like, oh, we wanted Carson Wentz to win it because we wanted the guy that we drafted and the guy that brought us there the whole year. Like nothing could ever be perfect in the city of Philadelphia. You know, everything's got to be kind of that retarded way, you know, and that's what God set us up with. You know, we go to the Super Bowl, we finally win the Super Bowl. We not only win the Super Bowl, we beat the Patriots, who everyone hates, with our backup quarterback, and it's still a problem. It's still a problem. And that's all there is to it. I'm in Indonesia. Hey, what's up? I can't read your name, but cool, man. It makes me sad that the Eagles may not win another Super Bowl for a long time. They might not. They might not. Jazz S says, Eagles fans say that Carson won his home field advantage. Foles had to play like a god to win that Super Bowl. He played flawless, and we won by 8 points. Carson would have lost us that game for sure. And that's what people are trying to dismiss. If Carson Wentz plays in the playoffs that year, who says that he goes on that run? Who says he wins that Super Bowl? And here's another thing. If Carson Wentz lost in the playoffs, people wouldn't have been unhappy. They wouldn't have. They would have been like, well, the future's bright. The guy's a sophomore in his NFL tenure. He's a sophomore. He'll have great years to come, blah, 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 blah. Everyone would have been happy. They would have been like, oh, we still have 0 rings, but Carson Wentz looked great. It just bothers me because it takes a special QB, backup or no backup. It takes a special QB to perform in the kind of situation that Nick Foles did, and he got it done. And people try to discredit him because they like to say that Carson Wentz would have had a better performance than Nick Foles in the Super Bowl. Better. I just don't get it, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't think people understand how hard it is to win a Super Bowl. Ask 44th the legendary. He thinks his team's going to win the Super Bowl every single year. And on paper, it looks like they are. But they don't because it's so hard. All these teams in the playoffs are good. Every single team in these playoffs are good. It is hard to win the Super Bowl. Very hard. And people are arguing that Carson Wentz would have won the game over him, that Carson Wentz would have had a better performance over Nick Foles. Like, stop, give me a break. Like, shut up. Like, seriously. Like, 44th just said fact. On paper, the Saints are the best team in the league every single year. They play in a dome, number one. Number two, they have Drew Brees, one of the best QBs of all time. I forget his name, the wide receiver, the fucking Michael something. I'm forgetting. All right, one of the best wide receivers in the league, one of the best 1-2 tandems with Drew Brees and him, and they play in a dome, and they lost to the Vikings in the first round, having a 13-3 record. Like, do people not understand this? Like, how hard it is to win a Super Bowl, let alone a playoff game? Michael Thomas, thank you. Michael Thomas is probably one of the best wide receivers in the league, and they lost to Kirk Cousins. Like, you're going to tell me that Carson Wentz would have had a better performance than Nick Foles had, kicking the absolute dog shit out of the Minnesota Vikings that year? You're going to tell me that? There's just no fucking way. There's no way you can, with a logical brain, that you can tell me that. There's no way. I completely changed my mindset in terms of expectations. You have to. That's what you're young. Well, you were young. You're getting a little bit older now. You're 21 and you're starting to realize things now. But expectations in the NFL, you can't have any. That's the only league where you cannot have huge expectations, because everything that goes uphill can suddenly go to shit in 2 seconds. Look at the Kansas City Chiefs last year. They won the Super Bowl. All right. Congratulations to them. They won a cookie. They have the best QB in the league, in my opinion. Now, they have the best QB in the league. But look at the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots were 12-4. Then they lost to the Miami Dolphins. Then they lost to the Tennessee Titans. It went from here to down here in 2 seconds. And now they're talking about Brady going to L.A. They're talking about him going to L.A., leaving the Patriots, who he's been with for the last 20 years. Like, the NFL is so tricky. It's so tricky. You can't have any expectations. You can't. I've learned that a long time ago. In 2011, with our Dream Team season, that year I thought, oh, we're going to win the Super Bowl. We got this in the fucking bag. And then all of a sudden we went 8-8, and that was a shit show. I'm glad we didn't resign Kirk Cousins. Yeah, he's not very good. Eagles still the best in the division. All right, let's stop here right now. Let's stop with this. All right, what on earth? And Brett, I'm going to talk to you real quick, man to man. Brett, what on earth tells you that the Eagles right now are the best in the division? We have no wide receiving core, in my opinion. Our tight ends, tight ends were strong. We have Dallas Goedert, we have Zach Ertz. Quarterback, we're strong. All right, coaching, suspect. Because Doug Peterson, as good of a coach as he was during a Super Bowl season, he's kind of taken a step back and kind of regressed a little bit. And now he's calling the plays. So if he was calling the plays last year, which I think he was, I think Groh was actually the scapegoat. If Doug Peterson was calling the plays last year and he's going into this year calling the plays and he starts to fuck up, everyone's going to blame him and it could be a huge shit show real quick. So us going into the season with no offensive coordinator, you really got to watch out for that. You have to watch out for that. And saying that we're the best in the division, as much as I dog Daniel Jones, I really dog Daniel Jones. His fumbling is a huge issue, and the Giants fans don't seem to get that. As much as I dog Daniel Jones, they are a wide receiver, not even a wide receiver. They are a couple pieces on the defense away from being a damn good football team. And people don't seem to understand this. Maybe an offensive lineman too, because their offensive line is suspect. But if you give Daniel Jones time, that guy can throw. He may not be able to throw the deep ball, but that guy is consistent. He can throw in accuracy. He can throw in a dime. And there can be a better team in the division next year, believe it or not. They really can. And if they decide to pay Dak Prescott or not, you got to watch out for the Cowboys too. You have to. I know they had a down year this year because they were dealing with a bunch of shit in-house or whatever, but you just got to watch out for these teams. I can't go ahead and say we're going to be the best in the division. I can't. Everything's got to play out perfectly. Everything's got to play in our advantage. And right now, I just can't say that. As a realistic Eagles fan, I can't say that. I got to see how we go through the draft, and I got to see how we go through the free agency. I can't say that realistically. It's a year-to-year league. Let me see. Let me see something. And there's a super chat. Okay. I got a super chat from 44th the Legendary. It's a $5 super chat. So here we go. It's a rant. If your team is favored to win it all, you're pretty much snake bitten. All right. So it's a ranting material. anything's a ranting material for me. In the description, it says $5 super chat. I got a rant on it. If your team is favored to win it all, you're pretty much snake bitten. I wouldn't say snake bitten is the right word. I would say if your team's favored to win it all, you have a target on your fucking back the entire year. That's exactly why the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl in 2017, because we had no target on our back the entire year. We were the underdog. We played the underdog mentality. We wore the dog mask, for crying out loud, in our own stadium. We probably scared the old lady shitless in the parking lot because no one knew who it was. We were barking to these old ladies. You know, people were throwing beer bottles. People were throwing beer cans. You had these 17-year-old kids in the fucking parking lot destroying people in the parking lot with dog masks on. How scary do you think that was? That was ridiculous. But if your team is favored to win it all, chances are you're not going to win the Super Bowl. And honestly, I think last year you were up there. The Saints were right next to the Patriots for being the top dogs to win it all going into the season. They are every single year. Drew Brees has come back this year, actually, if I'm not mistaken. They're going to be this year again because they play in a dome. Drew Brees, if you play in a dome 8 times a year, you're going to win. I don't think they lose many home games, so you're probably going to win all 8 or 7 of them. And the Saints will be back there, but they're going to have that target on their back because they're the New Orleans Saints, and Sean Payton, let's be real, nobody likes Sean Payton. No one around the league likes Sean Payton. Like, nobody does. They look back to Bountygate. He was a part of it, and people think he's a scumbag. So that's a great super chat, and that's a great example of what you were trying to say, because teams are snake bitten because, yes, they have a target on their back. And when you're under the radar, like you just said again, 44th, when you're under the radar, you have a much better shot to win the Super Bowl. Like the Chiefs last year. The Chiefs weren't necessarily under the radar, but the Chiefs had that it factor in the playoffs. They had that chip on their back. And everyone thought that a team like Baltimore, 14-2 Baltimore against the Tennessee Titans, everyone thought that Baltimore was going to steamroll the Tennessee Titans in that game. Tennessee came out firing, and a 9-7 Tennessee Titans team beat a 14-2 Baltimore Ravens team on the road because the other team had a target on their back. The other team had all the pressure in the world on them, and they didn't perform. Thank you for the super chat, 44th, the legendary. That was an amazing comment, and that was something I hopefully I fulfilled. So thank you so much for the super chat. I really, really appreciate it. I fucking hate being favored. I do too. I cannot stand it. I like being the underdog. It doesn't matter how dynamic the offense is. Look at the Falcons, and they choked that Super Bowl. Yeah, and it's crazy because don't remind me of this, because in the Super Bowl I had a big bet on the San Francisco 49ers, and I lost. They were up by 10 with like 10 minutes to go, and I lost. And it was like $600 I had on it. I love the San Francisco 49ers, but I forgot what kind of piece of dog shit coach they have in Kyle Shanahan, and I'm never going to take them seriously ever again. I'm not. Like, I'm sorry. Like, San Fran has a very good team, but I'm not taking them seriously ever again after that. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. My money is too valuable to me. Let me see. Best in division, top of a shit pile. Yeah, exactly. The teams in our division last year, I don't even think you could call them teams. They were that bad. Like, they were horrible. It was basically like a donation. That's how bad it was. Final Flash says, hell, lately the Super Bowl hangover seems to affect the winner just as much as the loser. It does. I agree. To year-to-year league. Giants have no O-line. Yeah, they need a couple pieces on that O-line. Big time. Everyone on our team is a winner. We almost made it to the second round of the playoffs with a B team. Yeah, but we didn't. We didn't, Brett. All right, there's no excuses either. We did not make it to the second round. We lost. All right. And if Josh McCown, and I hate to say this because I like Josh McCown, but if Josh McCown came out of the game earlier and said, hey, coach, my leg is fucked up, they would have got Greg Ward in there and maybe we would have had a shot. But there was no mobility towards the end of that game because Josh McCown couldn't run, and it kind of fucked us in the ass. I'm not going to lie to you. It kind of did. You and me both, man. I only lost 200, but damn, bro, still fucked the Niners. I agree. And the thing about that 49ers is the 49ers have a damn good team. Like, they really do. The 49ers are fucking nasty. And I just don't know how they choked away that lead. Well, it's the coach. How about the Sixers? Who's your East taker? Not the Sixers. Let's just put it that way. Sony Terrado says, people might be overlooking the offensive coordinator spot being vacant. I'm not overlooking it. I want that shit to be fucking stat. Like, I want someone to be their stat, because Doug Peterson calling the plays is scaring the shit out of me. Could you imagine if we had to play Green Bay with Greg Ward as a quarterback? I think Greg Ward would do a good job at quarterback. He played quarterback at the University of Houston. People are forgetting that. I think he'd do a good job. Eagles would have got rumbled by Rodgers if they made it, man, without Wentz. It wouldn't have been without Wentz, though. Wentz got cleared 2 days after that game. And that's what pisses me off. It pissed me off that he couldn't go back in the game. It really did. But it's NFL's stupid rule. And Wentz told him that he was hurt, and that's all she wrote. It is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. You got to move on and live to fight another day. We are at halfway through. If you guys are enjoying the stream, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Hopefully you guys are liking the stream. But yeah, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, and hopefully you're enjoying the stream. Sorry, I can't really talk. My throat's kind of fucking bothering me. If the Niners had a better QB, they win that Super Bowl. I don't think Garoppolo's that bad, though. Where do you think Foles plays next year? It looks like Minshew's the guy in Jacksonville. Minshew fucking sucks. And people are going off of a few, 5 games. Gardner Minshew sucks. He's a 6th rounder for a reason. They should keep Foles, but knowing Jacksonville, they're probably going to get rid of Foles because Jacksonville is a terrible, terrible, terrible franchise. And that's what will happen now there. Damian Leo says, I know this is not going to happen, but if Joe Burrow's at 21, do the Eagles pull the trigger? That'll never happen. That'll never happen in even a fantasy world. That would never happen. And no, they wouldn't do it because they have Carson Wentz. Serious question, what do you think is wrong with the Eagles? Yo, EDP, what's up, brother? Serious question, what do you think is wrong with the Eagles? Everything. The fact that the fans don't seem to care, the fact that the fans are happy with being 9-7 every year. The fact of the matter that when Wentz went down the second time, we were 4-7. We had to go on a run. The fact that we just don't care about losing and we glorify stats. There's a lot of things that are wrong with the Eagles right now and the fans. They got to figure this shit out. They don't have a starting linebacker going into the year next year, which scares the absolute shit out of me. And they have a ton of holes to fill, a ton, which is why I think they're going to go heavy on the defensive line, because I think they figure since they have so many holes in the cornerback and in the secondary as a whole, they're going to want to get pressure to the quarterback and then just rely on mediocre players to get the job done in the backfield. That's just what I see because there's so many holes. Gardner Minshew is not a varsity athlete. He probably is a varsity athlete at best. Think about it. Drew Brees is washed 3 years in a row. Let me see. 3 years in a row, losing the playoffs with all those wins. Old quarterbacks don't want to get hit that deep in the playoffs. Yeah. I mean, I'm not disagreeing. Dude, why the fuck do EDP asks, dude, why the fuck do they draft defensive line every fucking year? Shake my head, because that's what they're built off of. That's what they're built off of. They value the defensive line position so much. They always have. They always have, always will. They draft defensive line every single year. This year, do not be shocked if they draft defensive line at number 21. Do not be shocked, because Howie Roseman has something up his sleeve. He knows his defense is good, and he knows he's going to have to rely on the pressure again. He's going to rely on this because they have too many holes. Watch him take a defensive lineman at 21. He's probably going to take the best one, too, because it's not filled with defensive linemen this year. We need a wide receiver badly, but I could totally see how we taking a defensive lineman. I really can. They do it every single year because they rely on the pressure to get to the quarterback. And let's be honest, the pressure was not there last year at all. It was non-existent. And that's why you saw the secondary, which is practically the same secondary that won us the Super Bowl, get absolutely shredded because they had all the time in the world to try to cover the targets that they were given, and they couldn't cover them. They couldn't, because our pressure was not getting there. I found out the Sixers have as many road wins as the Knicks. Yeah, they're fucking pitiful. Pitiful. Does Dwayne Haskins take a step forward this year? No. Sharif Millard was a fucking bust. Yeah, what do you expect? He's from Penn State. I really like Isaiah Simmons. He probably won't fall to the Eagles, though. Probably not. We've had basically the same fucking team for the past 3 years. Need some, need some linebackers, and we can't afford to fuck up this draft. We can't. Do we keep Alshon or move on? We're going to move on. Talking to Sony. Only good player was Brandon Graham. Cox wasn't that great. Cox only had 3 sacks this year, and he made the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl. Sony, I heard they're talking to Sony. Sixers been sucking. Yes, they have. I don't know if they'll replace Haskins yet. No, they're going to go with him for another year. They probably see something in him, but he's not very good. Haskins, in my opinion, just isn't the guy for the job. But yes, we've had the same team for the last 3 years. Literally. We have. And I just yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments about our fan base though, just let me know. I mean, I've pretty much said all I could on our fan base. I really have. The Pro Bowl is a complete joke. It's all names now. The Pro Bowl it's a complete, yeah, you're right. It's a joke. Sixers lose to the Cavaliers. Damn, this team needs a big turnaround. Yeah, I mean, Joel left early though. I have a weird feeling that the Redskins or Giants could be good again real soon. That they will be, because you can only suck for so long, until you turn it around. It's Ben Simmons, the Wentz on the Sixers. Pretty close, yeah. Haskins could be all right. I would say Joel Embiid is more the Wentz on the Sixers, to be honest with you, because Joel Embiid gets banged up every night, and he's like never healthy. Haskins could be all right under Ron Rivera. Yeah, it's a good. That was a good hire for the Washington Redskins. Ron Rivera, he's a good coach. What's up, Will Olmstead? How you doing? Most overrated player in the draft this season. Overrated, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow balled out in college. I understand that, but you're going to see him on the Cincinnati Bengals. He's going to suck. He's going to be like one of the worst QBs you've ever seen since Ryan Leaf. He's going to suck. Hoop Carson succeeds. I mean, I do too, but you're going to have to put some weapons around him. You have to. Because if you want to see him at his full potential, you have to treat him like a superstar, and the team isn't doing that. Cox single-handedly wrecked Seattle's backfield in the playoff game. Need another legit D tackle so he doesn't get double-teamed every play. Well, Malik Jackson's coming back. We'll see how that goes. Thoughts on Wentz fans versus full fans? It's a joke. You should love both of them. I'm getting scared of the possibility of what Jason Garrett can do with Daniel Jones, especially if they try to improve the O-line. Yeah, me too. Yeah, Jason Garrett's a very good offensive coordinator. Very good. He turned Tony Romo into what he was, to be honest with you. How many more seasons until we move on from Wentz if he gets hurt again? Do we move on? We're not going to move on from him anytime soon because we paid him all that money. But it'll get ridiculous, and the fans will start to get tired. You will start to see the fans call for Carson Wentz's head if he keeps getting hurt. You will, even the most loyal ones. You will, because that's what they do in Philadelphia. I think Joe Burrow will be somewhat good if AJ Green plays this upcoming season. AJ Green's old. I would love to have AJ Green on the Philadelphia Eagles. I would absolutely love it. I would be all in for that. Top player in free agency you want, Nitro. Whew, that's a good one. I would like to trade for Mike Evans. That's who I want. I want Mike Evans, and I just want to call it a day. That's who I want on the Philadelphia Eagles. I like Carson and Nick. Oh, my God, I'm stuttering right now. It's so late. I'm sorry, guys. I like Carson and Nick. I'm tired of fans starting the Foles versus Wentz debate. I can't more about the entire team. Exactly. I care more as well. Nice show. You should start up a podcast. I was thinking about it, but we'll see what happens. Right now this thing's going well for me, and we'll see how far it goes. We'll see how far this random stuff goes. This is the 5th episode, and we'll see how far it goes. I do it late at night, so obviously it's right after work, a long day of work. So this is another hour of work, but I love talking to you guys, so that's all that matters to me. Laugh out loud. Imagine Wentz with Evans. It would be unstoppable. It would be unstoppable. If we have Mike Evans from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you might as well just call it a day. That's it. Call it a day. Because no one would stop that. No one would. And I'm just so sick and fucking tired of all these Giants fans, Cowboys fans, Redskins fans coming at my throat saying that your fucking QB is damaged. He's never going to be good. He's never going to be anything. And they might have a point there. And it sucks. The later crowd is way better than the daytime crowd on YouTube. Yeah, it is because we're adults. But you know what? There are some younger kids that come in here and, they show support to the channel. And I do want to thank them for coming in as well. But the YouTube set the what was it, a rule that you have to say if it's for kids or if it's not for kids. So if a kid says on their channel that they're 13 or 14, this won't pop up. So that definitely takes away from it. But, maybe they shouldn't be watching anyway because I'm a fucking psychopath. Should Cox be considered overrated? Last year, he was pretty brutal. He only had 3 sacks. I knew he got double teamed a lot, but yeah, he's got to play better. We're paying him $100 million throughout, 5 years? So he's got to play a lot better. He's got to play better. Let me see. Wentz is the best QB in the division. These other fan bases need to be quiet. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, right now I'm gonna let them talk because until he plays consistent, until he stays healthy. I mean, he played 16 games last year, but then he left the biggest game of the year. Until he plays consistent, until he stays healthy, I'm gonna just keep my mouth shut. If Joel Embiid leaves the Sixers, I'll never forgive Sixers fans for what they did to him. We'll see what happens. Our fan base is full of losers. That's what we win. That's enough for them. It's pathetic to me. Yeah. I mean, I don't like calling the fan base a bunch of losers, but it gets tiring after a while. How do you think the Cowboys will do with their new head coach? Mike McCarthy sucks. Mike McCarthy's a bum. I don't see what they see in him. He sucks. So is that one other? Okay, so that's looking pretty good. All right, so we're at the 40-minute mark right now. We have 20 minutes left, guys. I want you guys to bring it your all for this last 20 minutes. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. If you guys are loving this channel, click that notification button at the top. I do these ranting episodes about 3 times a week. I don't know when I'm going to do it on Friday because I have to work all day. Probably a late night edition. But yeah, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. McCarthy is a puppet? Yeah, big time. That's why they hired him. I'll die over the Eagles. Not me. Are you excited for baseball season? I am. I'm very excited. Everyone and their mother is getting hurt for the Yankees, but everyone is getting hurt for them. But, it should be entertaining. It should be exciting. AJ Green, 30 now. Would you want him? Yeah, as a number 2. I would have someone else line up across from him, but as a number 2, I'd be all right with it. Why would you hire a coach that pissed Aaron Rodgers off regularly? Because he's a puppet, like the other guy just said. How much long until we draft a new QB? I don't know. I'll probably be old by then. I'll probably be a fucking fossil. So hopefully everything works out with Wentz. Hopefully it does. I'm not sure if you've been asked this, but who do you think is winning Rookie of the Year race? Zion Williamson or John Morant? It's a lot closer now. I was saying John Morant in the beginning because Zion was injured for half the year. But Zion looks like a fucking freak of nature, so I don't know. Is Philly cheesesteak retarded? No, I like Philly cheesesteaks. I just don't like the debates on them. I think the debates are stupid. I really do. It's another thing you got to add to the misery of the Philly crowd because the Philly crowd doesn't debate well, and when they don't debate and they have nothing to talk about, they talk about which cheesesteak is the best, and that's just so stupid. But other than that, yeah. Good news, Nitro. Another Astros pitcher got hit. This time, Bregman. 7 people hit, and we are only in spring training. You're going to see them get hit a lot this year. And I did a huge rant last year. Not last year, like 2 days ago. And yeah, that was a doozy. Can't believe Wilder got shit on by Fury like that. He lost money. Yeah. Wilder's not a boxer. He's a brawler. I told people that. Have you ever tried Sad's cheesesteaks in Philly? Nah. Never tried Sods or Sads. I never. Maybe I will. Who knows? Maybe I will. Okay, that's looking good. I bet on a couple games tonight, so I'm just looking right now. Thoughts on Wilder using the costume as an excuse. It's a pussy excuse. That's a sore loser right there that didn't like you losing to a guy that he said some pretty mean things to. I'm not going to lie. When is being positive enough from our fan base? Being positive when a team is like 7-9 at best potential on paper and they have them winning the Super Bowl. What they did last year. Who makes the best Buffalo wings? Chuck's near my house. What games did I bet on? A couple hockey games. Wilder is a sore loser. That he is. I mean, so Wilder is a fucking punch, man. Wilder can, with his right hand, Wilder can like literally knock someone through a wall. But I have to give him that, but he's not a boxer. He's a brawler. He relies on that hook. Thoughts on Clay Travis? No thoughts. I don't really care. I agree that Joe Burrow is overhyped. I'm sick of all the hype. I've been saying this for months. Yeah, he's very overhyped, and people are going to see it. People are going to see that very soon. Very, very, very soon. Thoughts on the CBA and players not liking it? We're going to have a strike, so you might want to stock up on XFL tickets, to be honest with you, because if the players not liking it, I saw Marcus Pouncey on Instagram today saying that he didn't like the CBA, and he says that there's no way that they're going to play because they have enough money. They might as well just rip it up and make a new one, because with that one, we might not see football for a very, very long time. Would I want Corey Littleton? I don't know who that is. Who will have a better career, Joe Burrow or Trevor Lawrence? Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is awesome. Trevor Lawrence makes a team what it is. Joe Burrow had the best weapons in probably FCS history on this team. Let's be real. Hardest season as an Eagles fan. Mine was 2008. Here we go. I like this one. Mine was 2008. Slipped into the NFC Championship game. You know, the hardest Eagles season for me, I got two of them. The hardest Eagles season for me to take in was the 2003 season when we lost to the Panthers. That was tough. I was actually crying for that one. That was tough. And the 2010 season, believe it or not, the one where we had the miracle at the Meadowlands and we lost to the Green Bay Packers when Michael Vick rushed the snap, threw the ball into the end zone, and it was intercepted over it was thrown over Riley Cooper, and Tramon Williams crabs the interception to end the game. Like that season right there just summed it up for me, and I hated every second of it. I want to try Chuck's. Where's it at? It's near Trenton, New Jersey. What team did you think was better, the 2018 Eagles or the 2019? 18. 18 was more talented. We had Michael Bennett on our roster. Joe Burrow has only shown a one-year sample. Trevor has been great longer. Trevor won a national title as a freshman against Alabama. That's all you got. That's all you got to know. What season was it when we lost to the fucking Cowboys twice in the regular season and lost to the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs? That season hurt. That was 2009. 2009 when Donovan McNabb was doing the air guitar. That was his last year. Do I like Applebee's? I don't hate Applebee's. It's just is what it is. You know, you wouldn't catch me at a bar. You wouldn't catch me at their bar on a Friday night. That's what you're asking. When was the last time you cried over an Eagles game? Cried over an Eagles game? Happy or sad? Because happy, Super Bowl. Sad, 2016 Green Bay Packers. I was in the upper deck. I hate the upper deck. I think the upper deck is the worst place to sit, especially in the freezing cold. Monday Night Football, Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers kicked the living dog shit out of us. I literally cried because I was like, how many times is this team going to do this to us? To where they start off 3-0 and they look like juggernauts, beating the Pittsburgh Steelers by 30, a team that had a great Antonio Brown back then. And I was like, how many times are they going to do this to us? And then they miss the playoffs again, and they get destroyed by a Green Bay Packer team that really wasn't that good that year. I literally cried. You could ask Zomp that too. I cried. It was bad. The air guitar game killed me. Yeah. I mean, I knew we were going to lose that game. Like the week before, we lost Jamal Jackson, our center. And without him, you couldn't do anything. You couldn't move the ball. You couldn't do anything. And it's funny because I remember this one play in the game in 2009, the wild card game. Michael Vick came in and delivered a dime to Jeremy Maclin for the touchdown. And then I turned to my dad because I was watching with my dad. And I was like, Dad, should they pull McNabb and go with Vick? He's like, nah, you got to go with McNabb. And that's all she wrote. You know, McNabb was the captain of the ship, and that's all there is to it. I would have put Vick in because Vick was moving the ball. But at that point, you had to go with McNabb. Remember in 2016 when the Giants fans thought they were cool because they beat us for the first time in years? Yeah, I was at that game. That was after the heartbreak in Dallas. I remember that. Another brutal game. After 2016, I thought the Eagles were heading in the right direction. Yeah, but now they're heading in the wrong direction. So, see what happens. Trade for Marquise Goodwin. Nah, I wouldn't do that. 18 Eagles could have made it further in the playoffs, and if only Alshon made that catch against the Saints. Yes, because not only if he made that catch, we would have been closer to the first down, but it still would have ran the clock, and it would have gave the Saints less time to go down the field. It just sucks thinking about it. It really does, but what are you going to do? I believe in my heart of hearts that if Alshon Jeffrey caught that ball, they were going to go to the Super Bowl. I really do. And the Patriots sucked badly in that game. It just sucks. Best and worst beer. When I drank beer. I don't know. I liked Hell or High watermelon beer. That was like top notch for me. I like that shit a lot. Worst beer, Natural Ice. Natural Ice is disgusting. You know, I was at the divisional game against Philly, yeah, and we went up 14-0 very early. And then Nick Foles had a blunder through an interception, which he was targeting Zach Ertz, and that's when the momentum shifted. And then after that, it was just all downhill from there. And then we had that moment where we were driving down the field, and Alshon drops the ball. So that's all there is to it. Before 2017, there was so much hype around the Giants. I predicted their collapse, and I predicted the Eagles' rise before that season. Yeah, PBR is pretty bad. PBR is awful. You're right, Chris. Are you a fan of Barstool YouTube channel? Yeah, they do a good job. I think there's a ton of beta males at Barstool, but at the same time, they're doing a good job. Jeffrey hasn't been the same since. No, he hasn't. And I think he had good chemistry with Nick Foles, but he didn't have good chemistry with Carson Wentz. He really didn't. And that's why he's getting out of here. Do I watch Undisputed? Sometimes. The first Chip Kelly year hurt too. Nick brings us back against the Saints, get a good kick return and kick a game-winning field goal. Yeah, and it was freezing that night. I remember almost tripping on ice. It was 15 degrees that night. It was bad. Did Caitlin Bennett really crap her pants? Yeah, at a Kent State party. Yep. Will the LA Rams ever be the same again? I don't think so. I don't know. Don't really care either. We're at the 50-minute mark. We have about 9 minutes remaining, guys. I want you guys to do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you're liking this hour rant. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. And I really appreciate you guys joining this late. And yeah, I really appreciate all the comments. Is Budweiser any good? It's all right for what it is. I mean, it's not a beer you want for like a special beer. Like it is what it is. Rams need to move on from golf, possibly. I agree with that, actually. I was at the Saints game, standing room only, didn't see shit all game because I'm only 5'6". Yeah, how cold was that game, Chris? You were there. Is Vic, Djax, and Shady the most dynamic trio in Eagles history? Probably, yeah. I just thanks, Abel. I really appreciate it. I know it's early, but are you worried about the Yankees? No. Not even close to worried. Worried shouldn't even be a word. It's number one, they're the New York Yankees. Number two, they got cheated the last 2 years. Number three, they're just signed up. It's hard to describe. It's gonna be a good year, but they're gonna have a target on their back. Horribly cold, bitterness cold. It was terrible. How's your night, bro? It's great. It's better now, Big Jeff Bone. Rams are in trouble. They have an aging roster, not a lot of draft picks the next couple of years, and not a lot of cap space. They are in big trouble. Are you going to any games anytime soon? Like what games? Flyers. I'm going to MSG actually on Sunday. MSG, they face the Rangers. I'll be there. It's a 12 p.m. start. NBC, maybe I'll live stream it for a little bit there. But yeah, that's going to be one of my games I go to. Dark horse to win the Super Bowl this season. It's too early, bro. It is too early. What did he ask me? Favorite Yankee of all time? Roger Clemens. That's my favorite Yankee. How's the cost of living in Philly? I'm in LA. Shit's expensive. It's probably a lot cheaper. I don't live in Philly. I live in Jersey. That Ramsey deal has doomed them. Yeah, but Jalen Ramsey's a beast, man. You can't forget that. The Rams will be in the same situation. The Lakers will be in next year. Laugh a lot. Both will suck next year. Off topic, but Izzy or Romero? Izzy. Upset. I got Romero. I think Romero's going to finally get a shot. I think Romero's finally going to get his the belt around his waist. I think it's an upset. Rams trading 2 first-rounders for Jalen Ramsey wasn't that good of a trade. No, not in the grand scheme of things because they did nothing out of it. They really got nothing out of it. Favorite Yankee is Rivera. I loved Rivera, man. Rivera was that special fine player, man. You don't find every single day. Loved Rivera. Loved him a lot. Our fan base was willing to give up the same. Yeah, well, glad we didn't. That's the one thing I'll give credit to Howie Roseman for. He didn't panic. Are you tired of seeing the Dodgers in the series? P.S. Kershaw sucks. Yeah, but a report came out today. With Kershaw. He threw 51 breaking balls against the Astros, and none of them were a swing and a miss. You know how disgusting that is? That is despicable to the game of baseball. Who won, John Jones or Dominic Reyes? I thought Reyes won that fight, to be honest with you. Worst quarterback in the NFL. Worst quarterback in the NFL. Ooh, that's a good one. Right now, ooh, I'm drawing a blank. I'm tired, guys. I'm drawing a blank. But Dwayne Haskins is pretty bad. He's really bad. Really a shame how much potential the 2019 Eagles had. How it got wasted. Yeah, pretty quickly too. What do you think of the media freaking out about Tebow's spring training home run? He's 32. Yeah, because you never see it. You never see it. Jameis Winston, the worst arm right now. Yeah, but he just got LASIK. That could actually help him. Baker Mayfield's the worst QB right now. I wouldn't go that far. Winston, I don't think Winston's the worst. I think Winston's going to get better. And if you're going to place some money on an MVP next year, now that he got his eyesight fixed, if he could cut down the turnovers, you might as well take him as a dark horse because Winston's a fine talent. People are forgetting that. I say Mason Rudolph is the worst QB in the league right now. It's a good one. That's a good one. Mason Rudolph is pretty he's pretty brutal. He's pretty bad. Okay, that's looking good right now. I took the under on that game, so that's looking pretty good. Well, folks, 4 minutes and 30 seconds left. Thank you guys for tuning in to this chat, to this rant. Honestly, not one of my best rants. I'm a little under the weather and I'm tired. I apologize, but you know what? I still did the full hour, and thank you guys for the donations on the super chats. Hopefully, the rants were good enough. But the next rant will be on Friday after work. It'll be around the same time, 11 o'clock. I'll have probably even more time. Usually I do an hour. Maybe I'll do a little bit over an hour. But that'll be fun. That'll probably be Cowboys fans because that was the closest one tonight to the over positive Eagles fans. But I honestly I have fun with these. I have a lot of fun with these, and you guys give me something to do. I love ranting, and like I said, I was under the weather tonight, but I still went an hour. Hopefully you guys and I'm stuttering. I never stutter. That's how you know that I'm fucked up tonight. Hopefully you guys still enjoy this. Hopefully this was entertainment for you guys, and I'm going to just strive to get better and better and better. And you guys are making that possible by being here. So, yeah, I really appreciate it, Joseph. Worst bar in my area, there's this real big shithole called the Sticky Wicket. Like, literally on the outside of the bar where you're supposed to have the name all lit up, there's literally 5 letters just out every single day. And you're trying to advertise the bar, and they're just out. Sticky Wicket's a shithole. Still a great rant as usual. We appreciate your work. I really, really appreciate Crab Cake. Winston threw for 5,000 yards and 35 touchdowns. So if he cuts down the turnovers, you have an MVP QB. Yes, you do. You're thinking like me, man. Yeah, Nathan Peterman's really bad, but he's not a starter. I think we're talking starters, 44th. The thing is, you could say the same thing about Wentz if he doesn't keep getting hurt. He's a great talent, but keeps getting hurt. Yeah, but he's getting hurt. That's the problem. That is the problem. He went 30 for 30 this year. Yeah, with his eyes all fucked up. Fuck Kirk Cousins, by the way. Yeah, he's pretty average. Kirk Cousins is pretty average. All right, we're in the final stretch run. 2 minutes left. Maybe. All right, so Chris Wild said, the Sticky Wicket is a shithole should be the next title of this video. Gold. Yeah, it's pretty bad. The Sticky Wicket's pretty bad. That's where I used to go hang out. We used to get shit-faced there because we knew the bartenders, and we would run up tabs that would usually be like $140, but they'd give us everything for a total of $20 as long as we tipped them a good amount. And we would just get shit-faced, and then we'd go play pool at 5 o'clock in the morning. Oh, my God, those were the days. Those were the best days. We'd get the biggest rant if Wentz pulled an Andrew Luck on us. I'd expect it, honestly. I don't really like have huge expectations anymore for anything because my sports needs are satisfied after the Flyers win the Cup this year. So, yeah. Do you think Philly 500 is too positive? Yes, all the time. He's my boy, but he's way too positive. The Sticky Wicket should be one of your next rants. I could go on for days, but you guys got to vote it. Please rant on Bernie Sanders next. Dude is annoying. Maybe I'll have it as a conversation. You guys gotta. This is what you guys gotta do in here, though. I'm going to put this up maybe tomorrow. I'm going to say recommendations for the next show, and you guys just list off things in the comment section. Whichever I see the most, I'm putting as one of the topics that you guys can vote on. So that's what you guys should do. Do you and EDP got beef? Nah, not anymore. Not anymore. We're cool now. He's watching the White Sox now, and he's in the baseball season now, so he's getting ready for that. He's about to move out. Proud of him, and yeah. He's becoming an adult, finally. Bernie Sanders looks like one of the old guys from the Muppets. Yeah, it looks pretty dreadful. With that being said, guys, I'm out of here, and I'll read that comment. Thoughts on Mark Holmes, idiot. I'm out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode of Ranting Hour with Kyle. It's a very fun one. And on your way out, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell at the top, and I will see you on Friday. My voice cracked.